Hello and welcome to today's training video on how to use the new e-newsletter template in Property Suite to send your monthly newsletters to your contacts. To get started, open Property Suite. From the dashboard, go to Contacts and Email Marketing. So from here, create new, select Email Template, and the template we are using today is Newsletter Residential April 2017. This will change and update every month, so each month you'll look for the template that has the corresponding month on it and the old one will be removed. So the first thing you need to do is select click to edit, and this will open up the template so that you can add in your content. Firstly, we'll just quickly run through the 8 sections on the newsletter that we're going to go through today. Is the introduction, so this is the pre-header text, the newsletter name, photo and introductory paragraph. The second section is video insights. The third section is property tips and information. The fourth section is hot property. The fifth section is the regional market update. The sixth section is a what's on open section. The seventh section is for the current campaign, and the final section is where you add listings. So to get started, we're going to start with the introduction. The first thing that you can do in your introduction in the first box on the left is enter the pre-header text. Pre-header text is a short message that appears as the introduction line in the recipient's inbox. So it doesn't appear within the email itself, it will only appear in the email heading. Once that is done, we then go down to the next section, which is the newsletter name. You can give the newsletter any name that you would like and try and keep it quite brief, or you can have something quite generic such as April newsletter. So today we are going to call our newsletter Property News with Anne. Today I am acting as an agent. So once we've done that, we then move to the next section. So this section is your agent photo, and this will be pre-populated from your marketing profile in Property Suite. We do recommend that you leave it in there, as it's always nice to see a face to put with a name, but you do have the discretion to remove the section if you prefer. Going up to the top as well, we have some more pre-populated fields. The name section, so this will pre-populate your name into the header, and today's date will also be pre-populated once you get to the final stages. The recipient's name will also be pre-populated from the list of recipients that you upload. So the next section, we need to add in an introductory paragraph. So in this section, you can also add a second paragraph, which will generate a bolded first paragraph to your newsletter, and then a second paragraph that will be in normal text. So you can do this if you would like to. We do recommend that you do give it a go, as it does look quite effective. For example's sake, we're going to add in the extra paragraph today so you can see what it looks like. So once you've added your introduction, you can then move down to the next section. The next section is the video insights. So this section will be completed by head office every month and will contain various video content ranging from market updates, new promotional or division videos, and national events. There is an option to remove this section. However, we do recommend that you leave it in, as it adds some good variety to your newsletter and keeps people up to date with what is going on in Property Brokers country. So the next section is property tips and information. Again, this will be completed by head office each month and will contain 2 topical articles from our blog. So these articles will link to our blog on the Property Brokers website, where users can download the ebooks and browse our other resources. This section is compulsory and cannot be removed from the template. We will make an effort to mix up the information that's on here as well, so that it will be appropriate for landlords and also home sellers. Okay, so the next section in our newsletter that we need to complete is the hot property / feature property section. So in this section, you can select 1-star property to take the spotlight in your newsletter. So you can name this whatever you would like. You can leave it as hot property, you can call it listing of the month, and you add this property by following the same steps as you normally would when selecting a listing. For example, we'll leave it as hot property today, and we'll go and search our listings. from the list that has been created, go through and pick what you think is the star property that you are currently marketing. I think this one here looks quite nice, so we'll pick this one and then select use an email. So if we scroll back down to where we were, you'll see that this is now populated into our email template. There is the ability to only add one feature property, but you can add other listings further down. So make sure that this is a special one. The next section in our template is the regional market update. So this section will again be completed each month by head office and will contain the latest REI NZ property stats from around the country from the previous month, and will link back to our blog where the information will be published. Again, this section is compulsory and it cannot be removed from the template. So as you can also see, regions pop up, and this is where people can click to find specific information about those regions. The next section we have in our list is the what's happening / open section. So this section is an open field for you to include whatever you would like. You can include a topical article, local events from sites such as Event Finder, and community fundraisers. There is an option to remove this section. However, we do recommend that you leave it in and include something of interest. We also recommend that you have 2 sections maximum, as if you add any more, this can make the newsletter quite lengthy. So if you see down at the bottom here, there is an option to add new articles. So we do recommend that you have it as 1 or 2, but any more will make your newsletter quite long. To update these sections, we can first update our heading. I'm going to leave it as what's on, and we'll change this to in Palmerston North. We then need to select an image. So there's an image that I already have loaded up. So today we're going to add a couple of local events that are coming up. First event is a production called School Dance. Added our photo and we've added our heading, and now we need to add some text. Again, you can add the second paragraph to give a bolded introduction. In this instance, we're going to add it in as well, just to give you an example, but you don't have to go ahead and put that in. The template is not very intuitive, so you do need to scroll back down to where you're at every time you add an extra paragraph. To save time, we'll quickly whip this one in as well. To get the information, we're going to go to Event Finder. Event Finder is a great website to see what's happening in your local community. We'll go to Find Events, select our region and select our city or town, and then we'll scroll through and see what is happening. So here is the one that we're looking at today. There's usually a description about the event in there, so we will just copy and paste a short amount. You do want to keep these quite brief. If you put too much text in there, then it's going to make them quite long again. There is an option to add a web link here as well. So you don't have to put that much information in. You can copy and paste the link so people can go and read more and find out dates and buy tickets if they are interested. So that is our first event done. Now we'll complete the second event. It is important as well to make sure that you remove all of the text that is pre-populated into these boxes, because if you give it a read, you will see that it doesn't make sense. Our second event is going to be the Women's Lifestyle Expo. When entering the information for your events, you want to try and keep them quite balanced. If you have one that's quite a bit longer than the other, they are going to look a little out of sync when you come to the final version. So as you can see, our top section is perfect. Our bottom section, we have a little bit more text on the right hand side than on the left. So we might just add in a little return there just to try and balance it up a bit. And now we just need to add our link to our Women's Expo. And those sections are now done. So they are really easy to do, and you can put whatever you like in here that is relevant to your interests. So the next section is the current campaign. This campaign section will also be completed by head office and will contain an image and a brief description about the current campaign and market below. For regions that do have a different campaign, we will output a different email template for you so that your newsletter is relevant to your audience. This section is compulsory, so it cannot be removed. So it is important that we do have something in there that's going to work for everybody. Our next section that we have is listings. In this section, you can add your listings. So these can be open homes, recently sold, recently listed, whatever you prefer to showcase. So you can add these properties by following same steps as you normally would when selecting a listing. Just change the headings to match what properties we are listing in here. So for example, we are going to add in some open homes. We'll search those listings and we'll create our list. So we do recommend that under each heading you only put a maximum of 2 listings per heading. If you do tend to put a lot in there, it will again make your newsletter quite lengthy, so we do want to try and avoid this. We do recommend that you also put 2 headings only, so you could have open homes or current listings, recently sold or recent listings. So we'll go through now and we'll select a couple of open homes and select use an email. And as you can see, these 2 have pulled over. There is an option to remove the section that does have the open home dates in there. So just make sure that you check the dates and make sure that they are going to be after you've sent the email. Otherwise, it will be irrelevant. So check those dates, and if they are after the email is sent, maybe add in another listing that's going to fall within that time period. So we'll go back down now and we'll add in some more listings, and this time we're going to add some recently sold properties. So again, we'll create our list, go through and select a couple and use an email. If we scroll back down now, we have open homes with 2 listings and recently sold properties with 2 listings there. So that is our listings section complete. Just below the listings, you'll see there's another small box here that says looking to sell. This box is like a call to action which appears just above your contact details. Looking to sell will automatically pre-populate into here, but you can add your own message to get people to contact you. So you can add something in there, call me now to discuss. If you're targeting specific groups of people such as first home buyers, you may want to put a targeted message into there for them. It's completely up to you what you'd like to put in there. So you can leave it in as looking to sell, which we'll do today just for an example. In the footer, you'll see that you have your contact details. Again, these will pre-populate from your marketing profile, and it will pull across your name and your phone numbers and your email address. Also your social media listings if you have them. So your Facebook page will link to the Facebook icon and people can go straight to your page, which is great. If you have a joint marketing profile, then this will pull across your joint picture and your joint contact details. There will only be one contact detail listing here, so ignore the second one, this will disappear. And then that is your email. So we've now filled in our template. So the next step is to save and close. You can obviously go back in and continue to edit if you want to change anything, but we're quite happy with what we've done so far. So we'll move down to the next step, which is step 3. Step 3, we want to choose our mail recipients. To select your recipients, click on My Mailing Lists and choose your latest list of contacts who you wish to send this to. So as an example, I'm going to use warm buyers. This list only has one person, but that is fine for our example. So they have been ticked, so we will select Add to List. Your list will obviously have a lot more recipients. The next step is step 4. So here we check our sending information. Check the email address that our newsletter is going to be sent from. This should automatically pre-populate with your email address, but if not, just use the drop-down menu and go through and select your email address. Same with the marketing profile. This should automatically bring up your marketing profile, but if not, go to the drop down and select your profile. So as mentioned earlier, we're working on behalf of Anne today. You also get to put in your newsletter subject. So this is the subject line that appears at the top of the email to let people know what you're sending them. So you can leave it as quite generic. It will automatically populate with newsletter April 2017 or whatever the corresponding month is, or you can personalize it and you can change it to something that you would like. For our example, we're just going to leave it as it is today. So the next step in our process is the testing step. So this is quite an important step. It allows you to send yourself a test email so that you can check that you're happy with everything before you send the final email to your recipients. So to do that, just make sure that your email address is in this top section. It should automatically populate, but just in case, just double check. And then if you go down to the next section and click send test, this will send you a test email of what your final one is going to look like. So check through that test email with a fine-tooth comb and make sure there's no spelling mistakes and you're happy with all of the information. If you're not happy, you've still got the option to go back and edit your email and test again if you need to. If you're happy with the test email, then you're ready to send it out to your contact. Down the bottom, we have submit to send to one contact. So I only have the one contact, but you will have a lot more. So check that that number looks correct. For sending, you can either send as soon as possible, or if you click on the drop down option, you can select a time that might be more suitable to the audience that you're sending to. A lot of people might be checking their emails when they get home from work, so you want them to sort of see it at that time. We'll select, for example, after 7 p.m. and then once you're happy, click the submit button. Once the email is submitted, you cannot go back to edit it. The email will move from your draft folder to your sent folder. So newsletter templates will also be updated by head office during the last week of every month and be uploaded into Property Suite ready for you to send in the first week of each month. Any changes to the schedule will be communicated as they come up. So I hope you found this training video useful. Please have a go at sending your own email. If you do have any questions or get stuck, please get in touch with the sales support or the admins, as they'll also be trained in how to use this system and how to send out email newsletters. Failing that, definitely get in touch with the marketing team or creative, and we're happy to talk you through the process.